Welcome, everyone. This is the Take Two podcast with your host, Rylan, and
Diego Bizarro.
Today we will be reviewing Daytona by Pusha T. Now, this album is highly regarded as one of the top albums of 2018. And let's get into some background info. So, this is Pusha T's third studio album. It was released on May 25th, 2018 by Good Music and Def Jam Recordings. It debuted at number 3 on the US Billboard 200 and also known as the first of 5 albums produced by Kanye West in the Jackson Hole, Wyoming, known as the Wyoming Sessions. Daytona is the title because Pusha T explained how he had the luxury of time. So this is known as how he feels there's no shot clock, as he put it in an interview, how everyone seems like they have like a certain amount of time to respond or put out music, but instead he feels he has that luxury. Also, Rolex has a watch called the Daytona, so I think that's kind of cool. And yeah, Diego, anything you want to add?
So like when they first came out with the album, it was originally he released in December 2015 King Push, Dark as Before Dawn, the prelude, and then there was meant to be a follow-up to the prelude that was called King Push, but then King Push was delayed, and then like sort of out of nowhere they announced Daytona via Twitter on April 19th, 2018. When they began recording in Jackson Hill, they actually originally wanted the Neptunes to produce the album. They did a lot of Clips stuff back in the day. I mean, I don't know how that would have sounded with the Neptunes producing it. I don't know if it would have had more of a... I don't know. I feel like I wonder if that was an attempt to go back to what Clips was doing back in the day, or if it would have sounded a bit funkier. I don't know. Going to be interesting to hear. What do you think of that move if they had got the Neptunes to do it?
Be interesting.
The Neptunes?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Pharrell? That's who it would have been. It would have been interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Maybe more commercial, other than that. And so they scrapped the Neptunes in favor of Kanye's production. And there was a scrap track called Sociopath that I haven't heard. Did you hear that? I couldn't find it.
No, I didn't.
And then the album was completed on May 23rd, 2018, 2 days before the scheduled release.
Yeah. I think we mentioned that there's 7 tracks. I also found that on an interview for, The Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God and stuff, Pusha T was actually saying how Kanye believes that 7 is like God's number. It's like something like, like people are like, oh, it's like 3, the trio number. No, but
why 7?
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, it's a lot of people's lucky number, I guess. I can't find any really reason 7, but yeah, that's what Pusha explained.
So do you want to talk about the album cover?
Yeah, I actually wanted to go into that. So the artwork.
Is it art? Is that what we're talking about?
Well, let's get into that. So, at first glance, you look at it and you're like, what the hell is this? So you're just looking and it looks like kind of distorted and just like a messed up washroom and everything, right? But then you find out it's Whitney Houston's washroom in 2016.
Is that
2016? Sorry, 2006. What the hell am I saying?
So this isn't at the hotel where she died.
No, yeah, see, and that's what I thought too.
What's the name of the hotel? I know it's... Yeah, I thought it would be the hotel that she died.
But yeah, I did research into the artwork and stuff. They claim it's 2006. I know Pusha T was also asked about who got paid. Because obviously, they had to get this photo. And Kanye, he went up to Pusha T and he said, let's scrap, the old cover. Because they had like an original art that they had, but then very last minute, he's like,
has anyone seen the original art?
not that I know of. I didn't see anything, but yeah. Basically, it was $85,000.
I don't know who it would have went to because I think
Yeah.
her daughter passed away.
See, Pusha T is like, he said he kind of didn't really know, but some speculate that it was what's Whitney Houston's like husband?
Bobby Brown.
Yeah, Bobby Brown's sister. That's who they were
But
saying.
how is she coming to the estate? Because what does Bobby Brown own?
I don't know,
'Cause
but
I think
apparently it was
it was-
her who took the photo. They're saying
So yeah, then
originally.
it belonged to her.
So
Okay,
yeah,
that contradicts with what Bobby Brown said. Bobby Brown said it was in bad taste.
yeah, he was not happy about that for sure.
So then probably because he didn't get paid. I'm not into fan of Bobby Brown. There's a documentary on Whitney Houston called, I think, Whitney on Netflix. It's like one of the most depressing things you'll ever watch, but Bobby Brown isn't painted very well, probably rightfully so. I think he's a very jealous person, and yeah, I think he, I feel like if he got paid, he wouldn't be talking right now. I think that most of it comes into money at this point.
Yeah, basically, I think Push also said that he was like kind of debating with his team and stuff as well whether to use it, and then he was asked, "Oh, is it morally or because of how expensive?" He's like, "Obviously, it's financially or whatever." Yeah, like, but Kanye, he was so down to do it, and
Kanye loves controversy.
yeah, for sure. And I think when I was doing research, they were saying basically this album cover was like kind of to set the tone, to show how big like the Wyoming sessions were going to be for each album, since there were 5, that you have to start with a bang and set the tone.
Maybe it's projecting extravagance too. I mean,
yeah,
it relates to his past and drugs, if you want to look at it that way. I think a lot of it is to get people talking, because this is the first album.
So
right?
Would we consider this art?
So you need to. So to me, it's like that's part of it too. To me, I look at it as that. A lot of it was to get people talking and controversy, because to me, that's how Kanye goes. I think if you want to hear what Kanye really thinks, I think it's in his lyrics and his music. As far as what he says in the press, I would see that as a separate thing. I feel like, every time a new album comes out that he's involved in, there's always some kind of controversy, something to get people talking about it. And he always times it perfectly. He's kind of a media mastermind. I guess you got to respect him for that. I feel like, to me, it's just too good to be true that this is the first album from the Jackson Hole sessions, and you're trying to promote this new thing, and you come up with this album cover, that gets a lot of attention and gets people to listen to this album. And
going in depth, like when we talk about the album and each song later, basically it's no secret, like Pusha T, he raps about like kind of the drug lifestyle, how he used to sell drugs and how he's like top of the rap game now, know. But if you kind of look more into the album cover, it's like you can see it could show a life of how you get the ups and downs, basically. How life is like perfect when you're like kind of with all this stuff, but like, once it ends, it's over, right? It's like with Whitney Houston, her with all these drugs, I think she said in an interview, she's the only person who can tempt herself. Like she's like the devil in herself and stuff. And like, yeah, basically, she's on drugs, and this was like the peak of it, I think. Like
2006, yeah. I think she was gearing up for a comeback. I don't know. I think just before she died, she did a tour that did like really bad.
Yeah.
She wasn't singing very good. So I think she was trying, but yeah, this was probably the worst of it. I heard she was like almost like homeless. She had lost so much money to drugs.
Yeah, look at what that shit does.
I mean, if you really want to depress yourself for a night, but you want to go in depth, you watch Whitney on Netflix, because it's really in depth onto what she was going through. And then her and Pusha T, they're kind of two sides of different sides of the same coin, because Pusha T comes from a very like rough upbringing, and right now, and then once he achieved fame, he's really triumphed, and he's come out of it on the other side, stronger. I think he's doing very well right now, especially after this album. Really well received, charted very high. And then Whitney Houston, she came from a fairly good upbringing, as far as I understand. I mean, she got a lot of criticism for coming from a good upbringing, which is unfair. But yeah, she came up from a relatively well upbringing, and she had this very clean, pristine image. And then once she got to that point of fame, she kind of went the opposite way that Pusha T did, and kind of just the downward spiral.
And that was like kind of the low of life that you can hit. Yeah, she's gone now.
Yeah,
because what was it like? She overdosed on like coke, right? I'm pretty sure it was a cocaine.
I know she drowned in the bathtub, which I'm assuming
it was probably like like that stuff.
Because they found her. Yeah, they just found her floating in the bathtub.
Yeah,
but yeah, they're kind of, to me, I just look at them as it's kind of the opposite version of the same story. It's just flipped.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So maybe that's another thing. Man, I'm coming up I think it's all about controversy, but I'm coming up with all these comparisons. Maybe that could mean that could be a meaning for the album cover if you want to look at it that way.
But so is this overall artwork?
I mean, I don't know. I just think it is. I just think it's too good. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's artistic meaning there, but I think a big part of it, if not most of it, was to get people talking and get that controversy. Mm-hmm. It's what Kanye's good at. And I think it's a part of entertainment now is to build your brand and be this personality. It's not the same. It's not just the album and going on tour. It's very much, you got to build this whole other myth.
It's like Kanye when Yeezus came out, he's performing Jesus or he's like dressed up and like was it like a Time magazine or whatever?
Yeah.
He was like on the crucifix and like I don't know.
It's a Howard Stern thing too. People are just part of it is just people want to see what you do next when you do controversial stuff like that.
Yeah. And
I think he knows he's got people. People say it undermines the music. But I think he knows, and I know that he's got people that really respect his music. So I don't think what he does in the press takes away from the music at all. So
it's crazy to think like we're mainly talking about Kanye West, and this is Pusha T's album.
Which shows you how well it works. Right?
Yeah,
guy's a genius.
Kanye West is a Walt Disney. He is all that he said on that one interview. Like I genuinely believe he is an artist like that will go down in history.
Yeah.
I guess we should go into songs now, eh?
Track by track.
I think we got through the whole intro.
Right. Yeah, you want to kick it off?
Yeah. So 7 tracks. The first song is called "If You Know, You Know." So this song is 3 minutes and 22 seconds long. First track on the album. Samples the song 12 O'Clock Centennial by Air. The song, when you listen to it, goes into depth of a drug dealing lifestyle. Basically what Pusha T is kind of known for. Talks about how he started life, because that was his hustle back then. That's how he made his money and everything. Then, he eventually talks about slowly rising up and then getting to the top of the rap game, while saying, if you know, you know. Yeah. In reference to, like, other drug dealers, like, listening and stuff, they know the hustle, That's kind of what I picked up from the song.
Yeah, that's what most commonly is associated with the line, right? Is, if you know,
you know.
That's
yeah.
the refrain. If you come from that hard upbringing. So, I mean, I guess I don't know. I'd like to think, that, that's pretty a good way to put it. I like to think that's what it means. I'm sure that's what he meant.
Yeah. Anything throughout the song that stuck out?
I mean, what I thought of the song, this is contender for one of the best songs on the album. I like the kick pattern that the beat has, and this is like a hallmark. Kanye's production is great on here, by the way, but like a hallmark with Kanye. And there's a great video that Vox did. I mean, Vox does. I'm not into watching the whole political thing that Vox does, but the videos they do on music some of them are really great. And they did one on Kanye, how he uses the human voice in his production, and the sample on here, which is that voice repeating in the background. It really plays off the beat and kind of adds the syncopation, which makes the beat a little more interesting. So I think that's really good, whether that was his intention or not. Mm-hmm. And I also really like the line. There's a line where it says, "The company I keep is not corporate enough. Child rebel soldier, you ain't often enough." And then lines like, "One stop at the Walmart. We've got tennis balls for the wrong sport." And also The flow, the way he says the words, I really enjoy. I think it also plays off the beat really well, and he sounds really confident while doing it, which I always enjoy.
Yeah. I think we should give a shout out to Mike Dean, the mixing engineer.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, he's known for all these other songs with Kanye West, basically. Ultralight Beam from Life of Pablo, Father Stretch My Hands. The song In Paris, Jay-Z, yeah, you know the word. Basically, a lot of things from good music. He's good with the production. The song's on the Madden 19 soundtrack, so whenever I'm playing that, pops up, and it's a great song. I think my favorite line from the song is in Paris for Hit Boy, these ain't the same type of hits, boy. So basically that's alluding to how what's his name? Hit Boy. So he produced In Paris, and that's one of my favorite songs ever by Kanye and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's Pusha T said on his Genius interview was Hit Boy was actually a co-producer on Paris. Hit Boy gave me an amazing record during the whole time when all these beats are coming about. Again, it's just lined up, as you can see, it's like a puzzle. Everything sort of makes cohesive sense in one way or another. You can connect these lines, and if you have the knowledge or you have the insight and the backstory on some of these things and can draw these parallels, it'll help you remember it easier. I don't know. I just liked it. But the ones you brought up too were really good.
I just think they're clever in just describing the life he's trying to project here. I also like this album, and with a lot of production, sometimes it's basically since the 80s, production is really loud, which I don't have a problem with. I think there's, negatives and positives to it, but like there's a lot of songs where you can't understand the words or it's not very clear, where I find this album, which it's rap, so it's really, about the lyrics, but it's very clear and it's very easy to listen to as far as the words, and I can hear everything he's saying, and it makes it easier to analyze.
Yeah, like his flow, it's very understandable. You rarely ever have to search up his lyrics because you just understand what he's saying. I guess if you just want the deeper meaning.
Yeah, if you want to analyze it, you're going to have to.
Yeah, but for sure.
But it's a good part. Arrangement part. So he'll do like the first verse, and it's just I can't tell you what it is, but it's just the beat, and there's not really any bass in yet, and that big kick hasn't really come in yet, and then it goes, if you know, and it's just, there's nothing, and it's just him saying, and then the drop comes, and I just like the way that kicked in. That really adds to the song.
Definitely. I'm gonna give this song a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give this a 9 out of 10 as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's no surprise this album's good.
Yeah,
but just to have a great intro.
Yeah,
there's not that many albums that start. Well, there are albums that start really good, but this it sticks out.
Sets the tone for the album.
Oh, for sure,
100%. Things it's going to talk about, and the production's really uniform. It's really cohesive, and it sounds like all the songs really they fit together. The production's really similar, but they still keep it fresh. But it's very similar. It sounds like it's from the same album. There's none of these huge drastic changes where you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
So we'll move on to the next song?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The next song is called The Games We Play. So it's 2 minutes and 46 seconds long. Samples BT Everhart's Heart and Soul. Continues the story of drug dealing and Pusha T's money and fame. Pusha T actually says this is one of his personal favorite songs from the album. When Pusha T's rapping, again, we said how clear and vocal he is, how you understand when he's spitting these lyrics out. You really hear a gangster rap kind of influence in this song. I think definite West Coast, and he even kind of talks about it when talking about the NWA in the song.
The Compton,
yeah,
inspired by rappers from Compton. I think that's what
it's influenced by blah blah straight out of Compton.
No, yeah, there's definitely an old school kind of vibe on this song.
Yeah. You want to add?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure. This is a great one too. The horn shots, they add like an urgency to what he's talking about. I really like the repetitive refrain where it's like, this is the money your ex claimed he made and stuff like that. And that refrain is really good. And then the metaphor he's using for the recipe is kind of good. That really helps. That really helps with the delivery. I think that keeps me interested too. And it makes it a little more, for lack of a better word, catchier.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really like this one as well.
Yeah. Pusha T, even when he said that this is one of his favorite joints off the album, he told Hot 97 that he feels like it harnesses the energy of the nightlife and the street life and the competitive club spirit. It's car music to me. It's pull up in front of the club, hop out and flex and go crazy type of music.
And I just think he likes it too because it's fun for him. He's, it's talking about his wealth and, who doesn't love celebrating their wealth and their success. And, he's talking about his influences here too, which is, I'm sure he likes, you're going to love that kind of music if it's the one that inspired you and the one you grew up on. So for him to do a track like this is probably really fun and to give credit to all his influences.
Yeah, for sure. He's really showing how much he loves West Coast music.
Yeah, and
especially I think how he grew up on it.
We have a market for nostalgia now too, so I think it's also timely for him to do it. So.
For sure. Favorite lyrics of this song. This ain't a wave or phase, cause all that shit fades. This lifestyle forever when you made. They tweet about the length, I made them wait. What the fuck you expect when a blank got a cape and he's great. So I think that's mainly talking about how this like whole lifestyle that he has, it's like it's not just temporary to him. Like, you have all the material stuff, but like to him it's almost like spiritual, I guess, in a sense. Some would say it's weird, but
probably likes being ingrained in the zeitgeist.
Yeah,
influencing.
Like he really loves
the culture,
spotlight. Yeah, all of that. Yeah, I just like it because it's like, you think like all these people just because even they're at the top, like they're just the greatest. No, like he's also great as well.
Yeah, and he likes to be seen as what his influences did in the past. Influencing the way people think, the way people view that kind of culture. And, I think he likes being an influencer in that sense. This song's probably also celebrating that.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else to say? I guess really our rating of the song.
Oh yeah, go. What's your?
I have this as a 9 out of 10 as well.
Give this probably an 8.5, just to be difficult. But yeah, an 8.5.
Just round it up.
Yeah. All right.
So the next song is Hard Piano featuring Rick Ross. So this samples High as Apple Pie Slice 2 by Charles Wright and the Watts 103rd Street Rhythm Band. Same sample was used in Madlib's character Quasimodo's album Real Eyes. Kanye is very known as a huge Madlib fan, and they worked together on the song No More Parties in LA off Life of Pablo album. The title, according to Genius Lyrics, says that it's a double entendre referencing the piano throughout the production and cocaine, like piano keys of cocaine, as well as hard being another name for cocaine. I find both Pusha T and Rick Ross, they bounce the story of enduring the lifestyle that they've grew up in and trapping and selling drugs to others while avoiding like the police and everything, dealing with them, and eventually how they rose to the top. Anything you want to?
This is probably my least favorite song.
Really?
Probably my least favorite. I think the samples on it is really cool, and I think what's his name? Rick Ross's verse is good on it. I think it's a synth, and it's playing these held down notes on the verses, which kind of adds like a melancholy or like sadness to it, which is kind of cool. I think this, it's continuing with like talking about their shared experience and their two lives that they've lived.
Yeah.
Which is, I think this album it's definitely got an old school thing too, because these first three songs are just talking about street life, basically, and this album's really got an emphasis on lyrics. I find there's great production on here too, but rap nowadays it's really there's really been an emphasis put on the production, especially, which is great, but I think you lose something with the lyrics sometimes, and I think this album has a real focus on lyrics, which is really cool. Well,
so you said this is probably one of your least favorite songs, right? Well, this is my highest rated song.
Okay. Well.
So that's, I really liked it. Obviously, the opening lyric,
it's kind of ridiculous.
Never trust a bitch who finds love in a camera. She will fuck you, then turn around and fuck a janitor.
I mean, it makes me laugh.
I like it.
And then it makes me take the song less seriously after that. But
if you kind of go into it, it's like saying,
no, I'm sure it works. It's just that line is so...
Yeah, it's kind of out there. But
and you just started off right into it, and it's like...
He's taking a risk by saying something as crazy as that.
But the song's still good.
Yeah, I think the lyrics mainly saying, a girl who's, a huge social media influence. She's always taking photos of herself and stuff, posing up, being a social media influencer. That's not a real job.
They make money.
Yeah, no, that's a joke. But basically it's like saying that she doesn't care about who she's with. She cares about herself.
Where's the janitor coming?
Exactly. It's like the janitor being she doesn't care who he is.
If I'm a plastic,
she'll mess with him.
But if I'm a plastic, really good, really good looking girl.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, okay, he doesn't like this girl, right? So, and she finds love in a camera. So she really likes material things. That's what that tells me. Well, a janitor is going to be able to, no disrespect to janitors, but wouldn't you want to go up to an incredibly rich guy? Wouldn't that be more?
Yeah, I get it.
Hey, maybe she could go after Drake because, Drake's bigger than Pusha T. Drake could have mentioned that line, dude. He could have said, she would turn around.
Yeah.
Fuck Drake.
It's all speculation too, right? Just the way he talks about sort of the rise to fame, as he is in every song. Let's be real, he's talking about getting to the top. There's nothing wrong with it.
Concept album.
Basically, every rapper. You're
well, I guess that's the difference between mixtape and album.
Yeah,
supposed to have a concept.
Yeah, basically, he just talks about how he again, how I referenced him and Rick Ross, they got to the top. The lyrics of "I won't let you ruin my dreams" or Harvey Weinstein the Kid. "Good morning, Matt Lauer. Can I live?" That.
Genius.
Yeah, I really liked it because obviously those two are infamous for being Me Too'd.
Yeah.
Accused of sexual acts and horrible stuff, for sure. I get what Pusha T means too. It's don't let his legacy be ruined by something as horrible as a sexual assault or whatever, right? Not that I think Pusha T, assaulted anyone, but another line is the Warhols on my wall paint a war story, had to find other ways to invest because you rappers found every way to ruin Paddocks. So I kind of like that because Warhol's is Andy Warhol. He's a contemporary artist. His paintings are really known and they sell in the millions.
He's also a guy who knows everyone.
Yeah.
He just knows every famous person. You see him with every famous person you can think of.
Basically, yeah. I think what Pusha T with War Story he means is kind of his time while doing music, in the industry and stuff. Basically from rags to riches, rising up in the rap game, all that. It's just saying how crazy things go. The highs and the lows. It's almost like a roller coaster. And then finally he says, because you rappers found every way to ruin Paddocks. I like that too, because Patek is Patek Philippe. So it's a Swiss watchmaker. So basically all these rappers are like, oh, paddock on my wrist, all that stuff. And he's like talking about the oversaturation of it. And there's even a chart on Genius Lyrics showing how since 2013, the brand has been like talked about a lot and stuff. Yeah, basically.
It's weird too, this album, he's like mixing lyrics where it's like, it's these really universal themes, at least within rap and all that. But then he's making it very timely too. Like we'll get in later songs too, he's mentioning current headlines and a current feud. And then this, he's mentioning Harvey Weinstein and Matt Lauer. So he's kind of mixing the stuff. I mean, I think the album's still going to be held up and it will stand the test of time, but it's like those kind of lyrics, you're always going to associate it with 2018, 2017 kind of time. It's weird that he would mix that. I feel like, well, I don't know. I mean, I guess a lot of albums are going to mix both and both, but I feel like sometimes I just wonder why they wouldn't want to. I feel like if I was doing an album, I'd want one to, just talk about normal themes and then not really mix anything in that's going to, tie to the time that it came out in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and we got to give credit to Tony Williams because that chorus is really great. Beautiful. It's probably the best part of the song for me.
Yeah, anyway. For sure. I just want to put a lyric from Rick Ross, I guess.
Go for it.
I really like, I'm dying to find a way to get a Grammy from it because Rick Ross, he never won a Grammy, but he also kind of talks about how he doesn't like the Grammys in a sense. A lot of rappers don't.
They don't mean anything.
Yeah, basically. It's like... I
mean, we'll probably watch them and review them, but, they don't mean anything.
I think it was like 2014 or 2015. Rick Ross was basically like talking about how the entire community of rappers and stuff, they don't feel like the Grammys mean much.
It's kind of insulting, the way the Grammys...
Yeah, just the way like...
Well, they're picking all these pop albums that are good.
It's like...
They appeal to everyone that, your mom is going to like it and you're going to like it. Whereas like they're not picking these albums that are, actually changing the course of music.
Yeah. What was it? Invasion of Privacy that won the Grammy this year?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sorry for this. I think that was a horrible album. Last night was the BET Awards. It won as well. Mm-hmm. Horrible. I genuinely hate that album.
I mean, just to sound more objective, even an album I like, 24 Karat Match is probably Bruno Mars' best album. But it won Album of the Year. I mean, okay, if you're a Bruno Mars fan and you think it won, I mean, that's great. There's definitely good things about it. But like, it's a throwback album, it's got a lot of 80s instrumentals and it's poppy. And of course it appeals to your mom. It appeals to your dad. It appeals to you, appeals to your younger sibling, your older sibling, anyone, And, you compare to what it was against, like the Jay-Z album that came out that year, Damn. And, Awaken My Love and all these albums that are way more influential. I mean, you look at Damn, people still talk about Damn.
Oh, yeah.
As a great 100%. Album. And, yeah, that 24 Karat Magic album is great, but I don't think that, I think the singles off that album are going to be talked about for a long time, but I don't think...
But overall as an album...
I don't think in 20 years... It's a solid pop album. I think every track's good. It's not what I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't think, compared to an artistic statement, I think Damn... or Awaken My Love are much more of an example of that than 24 Karat Magic is.
Yeah.
I love you, Bruno Mars. But.
Yeah. So again, this is my highest rated song, so I gave it a 10 out of 10. It might be high, might be controversial, but I mean, everything can always change, right? This album just ages like fine wine, It just keeps getting better with every year, I think.
Well, especially in hindsight, too, a lot of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And you?
7.5.
I mean, that's still good.
It's a decent song.
Like that's still good enough.
When I first started getting the album, though, like I'd forget it was there.
Just remember, a 5 is a pass.
Yeah.
So
I'd forget it was there because the next track I just really really loved, so I was always dying to get to the track 4.
I mean, kind of looking back now, like my 10 out of 10. I'm not saying because you might associate me saying it's the perfect song from this album.
But song and like a rap track is a different category to me.
Maybe I'll bump it down to a 9.5 just to, because I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's up there.
I mean, it's got a great hook on it.
Yeah.
Which,
you know what? We'll fix that.
Makes the song for me.
9.5. That's my official rating as of this recording. Okay. You want to introduce the next song?
Yeah, okay, Come Back Baby. So this is another one that's a contender for my favorite song on the album. It's got that chorus, which is very R&B, and I got into R&B and funk first. Well, originally I liked rock and metal, but I got into that kind of music after. So it's kind of, it appeals to me a lot. I really like the contrast. The verse is very like hard-hitting and heavy with those low bass notes that drone on. Then it kind of takes you up into like this, light, beautiful chorus sung by George Jackson, who's an R&B singer from the 70s. He never really had any success on his own, but he did write a couple of hit songs with people. Like most famous would be like Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger, which is kind of, it's not really that great of a song. The song that this is from is way better. He really should have got his due. As you can hear on the chorus, he's an amazing singer. Really great soulful voice. If you do, please check out I Can't Do Without You, the song that the sample comes from. It's really great, and he should deserve to be up there with James Brown and all those great singers. Also contains a sample from The Truth Shall Make You Free, performed by the Mighty Hannibal, which that's kind of that beginning thing, kind of sounds like that gospel kind of pastor kind of thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
And a line I really liked in here, which is kind of like a universal theme. I've never really heard anybody's take on it, but it says, they say, don't let money change you. That's how you know money ain't you. I think that's just a really great commentary, and I think it's kind of saying, like, money comes with success, and if you're not ready for the kind of success and all the things that come along with having a lot of money, then you're not the kind of person that should have it. You can't handle it, and I kind of think that way myself. I think there's a certain kind of person who's, who can handle that, huge levels of success and tons of fame and the kind of work and the kind of, the kind of bad things that can come along with that kind of lifestyle. There's a lot of great lines in here too, like now that the tears dry and the pain takes over, let's talk payola, which I believe is in reference to, for those who don't know, payola is when it's an illegal act, which is why Billboard doesn't count radio play anymore. That's from a different song. I messed up.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, whatever. That's from Santeria. We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
So, okay. I got to make more organized notes. But anyway, it's a really great song and one of my favorites on the album.
Yeah, definitely the George Jackson sample. I listened to it. Yeah. I really like the intro. Like, it's almost like, what is it? Is it a eulogy? I don't know. It's like a sermon.
Yeah, sermon is the best
way. That's the best way to put it. It's like talking about, kind of giving the gospel intro, kind of talking about it. Again, this song talks about drugs, rise to the top.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And that might be my only criticism of this album.
This one changes it up, though, in the lyrics.
Yeah, for sure. That's the thing, too.
It's talking about the balance between really commercial rappers and then the ones that, like him, that come from that hard lifestyle. It's talking about the balance between those two. So he does change it up on him.
And even, I'm happy you brought up balance, because that's actually relating to one of my favorite lyrics of this was, and they tired of dancing like a yin-yang twin. You can't have the yin without the yang, my friend. So that's referencing the hip-hop duo, Yin Yang Twins. Basically, yeah, in the Chinese culture stuff, it's like talking about yin and yang, how there's balance.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think it's a good kind of picture of it.
There's a place for both.
Yeah.
I like that he doesn't have an elitist attitude. I think there's a place for commercial pop where you don't have to think, and then there's a place for stuff like this.
Yeah.
There's no need for an elitist attitude. And that commercial stuff is going to inspire the stuff that's less commercial to become even better, because it has to compete with this stuff that's, initially is going to do better because it has a commercial appeal.
Yeah. I gave the song an 8 out of 10. Like, I think it's a little lower, but I still really liked it.
I would go with, no, it's probably a 9.5 again. I don't like giving perfect songs. So, I mean, that's very rare for me to find a perfect song. So, but this is, Along with If You Know, You Know, this is probably my favorite, so I'll probably give this a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah. Next song you want to intro?
Yeah, okay, so that's Santeria, right? So this song references his manager who died, whose name was Davon, I believe.
Davon Pickett, I think.
Yeah, Davon Pickett. How did he die?
He was stabbed outside a bar, I think, in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think he was just like, yeah.
The first line, like right away, you're getting the references. As I accidentally talked about in the last review of the aforementioned song, the line that I really like is, now that the tears dry and the pain takes over, let's talk this payola. So payola is an act of paying the radio station to play your song. It's why Billboard no longer counts radio play on the charts, and you know they used to pay them in either like strippers and coke or straight up money. And he's saying that now that he's done, you know, not getting over, but like going through the mourning period of his manager and getting over it, he's ready to put another like illegal hit, basically, specifically for the murder of his manager, the person who murdered his manager.
For sure. Did you talk about the samples?
No, I did not.
I guess I'll mention
Yeah,
it.
do it.
So samples, Bumpy's Lament by Soul Man and the Brothers, and Lil Kim's Drugs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's about Davon Pickett, Day, I think that was his nickname. Yeah. It's pronounced Santeria. Santeria. Okay. I did research, so it's the Way of Saints.
Yeah.
Yoruba. I don't know how to pronounce this stuff. Whatever. It's like a religion that has like mediums and stuff, like all those spiritual things. It's almost like talking about Pusha T trying to communicate to Davon about kind of how life is and like what happened within the lifetime of him being gone.
Isn't the sample from the Shaft soundtrack? I think.
I
think it's a common sample. I think Dr. Dre used it.
Okay.
I think in another song. I can't remember what the other song was called. I think it's this one.
Yeah.
The chorus is cool too.
Oh, for sure.
Creepy sounding chorus.
Because it's in Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is by 070 Shake. Beautiful artist. This was her first kind of exposure with the Wyoming recordings and stuff, because this came out a week before Kanye dropped the Ye album, and she was known on Ghost Town. So, you know, I put my hand on the stove and like all that line. It's beautiful. This was her first exposure. And while doing research, turns out the night before the release party for the album, she was with Kanye, and he's like, or no, she wasn't. It was Pusha T. And Kanye's like, oh yeah, we didn't get a clear for the sample on the song.
Oh.
So she recorded it like within an hour.
Oh, that nice vocal take?
Yeah. Within an hour she did it, and then they all like put it together. It was like the day before the party. So
I think
huge props. That was I think that's really
professional, and that's fast, especially because there's multiple vocal layers on it too.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think the chorus translates to, I believe, is "You are going in the morning, the angels are waiting. It is the fire that I know," basically, and that's kind of repeated in like a different order. I think on the second one.
Yeah.
The chorus is really like menacing, cool, and it's got this like Alice in Chains. Well, it reminds me of something Alice in Chains would do. The kind of harmony when she goes, "Doesn't fuego que," and there's like a harmony on there, and it's kind of like this atonal harmony. It sounds like something Alice in Chains would do. I don't know if they were going for that.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing of note to me, that I think is, after Comeback Baby, I think the last three tracks, the album takes like this noticeably dark turn. Like the music is way more unsettling and like creepy and dark. Not like the other songs are, I wouldn't say they're joyful or anything, but I think
it's a little more upbeat than
especially
the rest.
after Comeback Baby.
Yeah, for sure.
Song. It kind of takes this really unsettling kind of creepy turn.
Even when you go into depth with like the last three songs, like when we
And of
touch
course,
upon it, we can even mention.
even the subject matter, yeah, it's different.
I want to mention the line at the beginning. You killed God's baby when it wasn't his will, and blood spilled. We can't talk this shit over. The Lord is my shepherd. I am not sheep. I am just a short stone's thrown from the street. I really like that because it's like, again, referencing Davon, who was killed. It's just talking about how it hurt him so much, because I think it's almost like he was like trying to talk to him even after he died. Saying the Lord is my shepherd, I am not sheep. You know, in very religious belief, like Christian beliefs, it's like, you know, the Lord is my shepherd, I am a sheep or whatever. It's like he will take care of me and stuff. But it's like, again, when he says you killed God's baby when it wasn't his will, it's like God was supposed to protect him, yet it didn't happen. And it's kind of, I think, Pusha's like sort of kind of like anger towards God in a sense, I guess, and kind of challenged his faith in the death of his friend. And, you know, I think that's kind of like really interesting to talk about. Because
personal, very personal song.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's one of the reasons why this is one of my favorite songs from the album as well. Like, I gave this a 9.5.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of respect for this.
For sure. I think this can almost be a 10. 100%.
Well, and on an album too, where it's, you know, it's kind of playing this tough thing because it's talking about the life he used to live, and there's bragging on it, to kind of this personal song where he's opening up and really revealing how he feels.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting difference to the other songs.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much more else to say, I don't think.
No, yeah, that pretty much covers it for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think if I were to suggest this album to someone, this is one of the standout tracks.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next song is What Would Meek Do, featuring Kanye West. So it samples Heart of the Sunrise by Yes. The song is in reference to the rapper Meek Mill. It's like saying the devil on Pusha T's shoulder asked, what would Meek do? Because I think at the time they wanted Meek Mill even on this song, but he was still locked up at the time. And so Kanye hopped on, but basically talking about sort of balancing out, you know, what would Meek do? Your morals, like the angel and the devil kind of talking on your shoulder.
Yeah, they get really Christy.
Yeah, it's like, cool. Again, Pusha talking about even now being top 5. Remember top 5. That's going to be important. And it's like them like kind of responding to like other people like talking shit about them, always giving criticism and kind of their response, I guess, in a sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and don't they reference, I think this is when they start referencing current day headlines. I can't remember which one they reference, but I think they're starting to get into that kind of lyricism. Isn't that Heart of Sunrise the sample? I think it's that sound effect that's playing over the top of it. Yeah. I don't think they use much of the song because the original song is like 10 minutes.
Yeah. When I first heard this song, when Pusha T's like, blank talking shit, yay, how do you respond? And Kanye's like, poop, scoop, whoop, whoopity whoop. Like come on. I was like, I thought that was like really funny.
I didn't even catch on to that's what he was like. I just thought it was a noise that he was making.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell are you saying, Kanye? But
is that kind of following a current trend?
Yeah.
Just making noise?
Yeah.
I don't know that's what he's going for. It just reminds me of Migos and stuff like that.
It's like in Kids See Ghosts.
Yeah, he does
like,
on there too.
Just making up the random noises, but like it's almost like ad-libs in a sense. But yeah, I like Kanye talking about I am too complex for Complex Con. Back in 2016, Kanye West was supposed to headline Complex Con. It was like a music festival and stuff.
Kid Cudi.
And so Kid Cudi did it, and then Kanye's like, I think he just made a surprise appearance.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But it's not
I guess because like at the time, you know, even kind of talking about his views. Not
He's
like,
going into addressing how much controversy. He's
yeah,
self-aware.
for sure. So I think that's why Complex Con, they didn't want that much.
Everything Ye say cause a debate. I think it says that.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the exact,
line after.
but yeah, that's the line. Yeah. So he's aware of that. I like him addressing that.
Yeah.
I like that he's self-aware and he's saying like create controversy. I like controversy.
Yeah, I like how they kind of talk about as well how they're looking up to other figures, yet they're also huge figures that others look up at.
Yeah,
it's like those are your role models, but even your role models, they have their own role models, referencing Tupac and stuff like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like Kanye saying, "If you ain't driving while black, do they stop you? Well, MAGA hats let me slide like a drive-through." Very, very political and controversial.
And timely, yeah.
But I like how Kanye still brings it up. It's like him kind of questioning sort of what he feels is his belief, in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is his belief or not.
You could go way more into depth, but I don't think we want to get too political here. Yeah, you have anything to say?
No, we're going to Infrared.
I'll just give a quick rating.
Oh, yeah.
The song, it's a good 9. 9.
I'll give this one. I'd probably go with this one a 9 actually.
Yeah.
Just for what it especially what it's what this caused that we'll get to later. Well, it's part of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, like when we talked about the darkness tone setting, it's like even just mentioning Meek, it's like because this was at a time where he was still locked up and everyone was like trying to fight the legal system, saying how corrupt and wrong it is in the States. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
Infrared. You want to introduce this one?
Yeah, I kind of look at this and what would Meek do as the same song. Okay, or not the same song, as one song, because they transition into each other, and he kind of leaves an open door for more lyrics to come in with ending with the how do you respond, and then it goes into Infrared. I don't know if that's supposed to be connected, but I thought that was cool just to go into Infrared after that. Mm-hmm. I like how this they're kind of comparing their feud, which I guess we'll get into, and they're using current day headlines with like the whole Russia situation with Trump, and I think it's very cool to hear that in the song. And that sample of that voice, it's always really like I get what it's trying to do, but it's cool. It kind of has this spooky thing to me for some reason. It's just very taunting for some reason.
Yeah,
just have it repeating in the background. What do you think of Infrared? I mean, there's so much to say.
I mean, looking back at how I reviewed each song, I think Infrared might be the perfect song. I just love the whole story within Infrared and what it caused, which we'll get into maybe another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pusha T, he really introed huge. The game's fucked up. Blank beats is banging. Blank, ya hooks did it. The lyric penning equal. The Trumps winning. The bigger question is how Russia did it. It was written like Nas, but it came from Quinnen. We'll get into that after. But yeah, he does reference other huge headlines, talking about kind of other role models within how some people, they're fake. Infrared is like a light, infrared vision. It's like kind of to show the things that we can't see normally with the human eye. Pusha T, he's very much talking about how hidden some rappers are with their lyrics and hiding whoever's kind of writing their stuff.
Seeing past the bullshit is probably
exactly. Now, clearly, this song is aimed at Drake. We all know. Yeah. Obviously, back in 2015, going back to Meek Mill, in July of 2015, he accused Drake of having a ghostwriter, Quinnen Miller, on songs like 10 Bands from If You're Ringing This Is Too Late, because Quinnen Miller has a version of it. There's the song Rico. It's actually one of my favorite songs, with Meek Mill and Drake, they're saying that was all written. You know, that's what started the whole Meek and Drake beef.
Well, this album, like, he's got a point. This album has significantly less co-writers than a lot of Drake songs do.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
for
co-writers
sure.
on Drake songs.
I think, yeah, my only criticism, though, is like, you know, you talk about all the ghostwriters, but like, majority of the most successful artists.
Well, to make it
It's
appealing,
like-
right?
Yeah,
You can practice for a long
for
time.
sure.
Song
It's
dog.
really bold of him to like just kind of take aim and just shoot down
Yeah.
others. Like, you know,
I get what he's saying.
this whole time he's been building himself up to the top, and now he's shooting down at the rest, looking up.
I mean, it is. I just think it's. I get what he's saying because, like, you look at some. There's like 3.5-minute songs, and there's like how many writers on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, this kind of doesn't Kanye kind of do that? Doesn't Kanye's got a lot of co-writers on a lot of the songs, and he doesn't. But so to me, it's kind of. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but I'm just. I don't know. It seems Pusha T's going after Drake for that. But if you look at Kanye's credits, there's a lot of ghostwriters. There's a lot of co-writers. And if you look at even like Black Skinhead, I know that comes from a Daft Punk song idea. That the basic idea of that or skeleton of that song was from them. So I mean, even people that he aligns himself with do it. It's just been common practice for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that.
Everybody in the audience can punch him for making that reference. That was very
Yeah. I think.
That's the most obvious reference you can make right there.
Yeah.
But you had to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it once. Pusha T, King Push. Yeah, again, this song, it's crazy what it caused.
Your rating?
Rating 9.8.
Okay.
Ooh.
Putting straw, just give it a perfect. For impact alone, it's just perfect
Yeah,
impact.
yeah. No, you're right. That's the thing. It really, like, genuinely, it's a 10 out of 10, I think.
For impact, probably.
Impact-wise, for
As
sure.
a song, I don't know if I'd rate that high, but impact, it just kind of deserves.
Yeah, I just love how Pusha T's, again, just how much influence he has. He is at the top of the rap game, for sure.
Who needs a hit when your song creates controversy, right? Like, chart positions mean nothing when your song... That song is, infamous just because... it's weird. It's kind of like a new way how things go. These, songs like this, it's a new way of having a hit. People talk about your song, but it gets zero radio play.
Exactly,
Stuff
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I guess that's it for this album, really. Thank you guys for listening. This was a really fun album to review.
Would you give it out of 10?
Without averaging each song, because obviously that's
Well, we did
it's
that.
different. But if I was to put it together, it's a good 9.5.
Yeah, I'd probably give it that. Or, probably a 9 or 9.5.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to give it the full 10.
It leaves you wanting
Because-
more. It's just
Yeah, for
tight
sure.
21 minutes.
You wish there was more than 7 songs, but in a sense, it just feels right.
Well, yeah, we live in an era where there's albums that are ridiculously long, and it's just kind of nice to have
Like
this little
20
21-minute
songs. Yeah, it's like,
just-
we don't need that. But like, I think that was also a criticism at the beginning too. Like, everyone was like, why are there only 7 songs?
Yeah, but I prefer it that way. You just cut off all the fat.
Exactly. Again, God's number. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you very soon. Psych.
We're back.
We're back. Not gone. We talked about it was written like Nas, but it came from Quinnen. So let's talk about it.
All right. You
So
gotta explain this more to me. A little bit.
yeah, so obviously
I'm vaguely familiar. I know some stuff.
May 25th had the huge drop of Daytona. When that dropped, a few hours later, we got a song from Drake called Duppy Freestyle. This is very interesting to hear because Drake responded so fast. Obviously, the shots were all at Drake in infrared. Duppy Freestyle. I love this response track. Like, as a diss track back. I really enjoy it. And you know what? I think I can almost enjoy it more than Back to Back that Drake dropped to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's things you can't argue with that he says in here.
Because, like, it's true. And, you know, obviously we all know what comes after Duppy Freestyle. We'll get to that. But, you know, even within whatever Drake said back to Pusha T, I genuinely enjoyed this as a diss track. No matter what happened after the song dropped, this holds up. It was really good. Just by Drake starting with, I'm in shock. The nerve, the audacity. You're like, damn. And like, you heard Duppy Freestyle,
Yeah.
right? Just like, almost like a Italian mafia setting. The thing that Pusha T was setting up for himself. You know, he's like the dealer around, but it's like Drake like knocking into the office.
He's also messing with like the biggest artist ever right now.
Exactly.
The last 10 years.
Like, you can't deny the influence Drake has had, whether you like his songs or not, because you will be listening to Drake, whether you like it or not.
You can't argue with success, right?
Numbers don't lie.
And he'll win there.
Exactly.
You know.
So Drake, getting into this song. So if you rebuke me for working with someone else that on a couple of V's, what do you really think of the blank that's making your beats? I've done things for him I thought that he would never need. Father had to stretch his hands out and get it from me. I pop style for 30 hours, then let him repeat. Now you popping up with jokes. I'm dead, I'm asleep. So when Drake opens up, Drake's instantly getting into how Pusha T's like, you have a ghostwriter. So Drake, he pushes it back, asking about, you know, Kanye West and his influence with Pusha T, because Kanye does write a lot for Pusha T. Like, that's the reality that a lot of people are really blind to. It's like Drake talking about, I've done things for him I thought that he would never need, because he's, in a sense, it's almost a praise to Kanye too, because he's saying, you know, you never think someone like Kanye would need like help, but Kanye did reach out to Drake.
Yeah.
The songs Father Stretch My Hands Part 1, Drake helped. 30 Hours, another song, Life of Pablo.
And they both benefit off each other, right?
Exactly.
Drake would have benefited knowing Kanye in his early days, and you know, Kanye definitely benefits being with Drake now.
And Drake, he even said how much like influence Kanye had over his career when 808s dropped.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the Drake sound, that melodic kind of, that auto-tune thing, then you can definitely see the influence there for sure.
Exactly. And Drake mentions Pop Style. Back in 2016, Pop Style released when One Dance released the same day.
Yeah.
Pop Style had The Throne, Kanye West and Jay-Z.
Yes.
Jay-Z. But when Views dropped, there was no Jay-Z or Kanye.
No.
They weren't there. It was like a different version. I was like, what the hell? It wasn't as good, I think, but definitely.
And just to Pusha T's point, like, you know, with Drake's point, saying like Kanye really helps him out. This album, Daytona, is considered, you know, I think Pusha T's best solo album yet, widely. I think it's loved more than the two he's released previous, and I think this is the closest Kanye's been involved in any of his projects so far. And this is the most well received. So he definitely has a lot of help having Kanye around.
The line after, I just left from over by y'all putting pen to the sheets. So Drake confirms that he was in Wyoming during the recordings when, Daytona was being recorded. On March 15th, Drake was photographed in Wyoming. The day before, March 14th, fun fact, he was live streaming playing Fortnite with Ninja and Travis Scott and forgot who else, whatever. But, well, I'll come back to this line and its meaning because it's very important within the next song. Tired of sitting quiet and helping my enemies eat. Keep getting temperature checks. They know that my head overheats. Obviously, back when Drake and Meek Mill had their beef, what rappers usually say is, checking temperature. So it's like your lyrical ability and your way of responding. So it's like Drake, he never dissed anyone really before until Charged Up came out. And you were like, okay, it's meh. But then Back to Back dropped, and everyone's like, oh, Meek Mill's, he's dead now. Drake destroyed him. But yeah, it on Genius Lyrics it says, in 2017, interview with DJ Semtex, Drake discussed not exposing artists who use ghostwriters, stating, if I was like an evil spirit, if I had like a different agenda, I could sit here and tell you how the shit really works. I could sit here and tell you 10, 20 people that are worse than me, that literally take everything and it's just verbatim process. But I'm not like that. He's exposing. Yeah, I think like Drake, you know, whatever. If you have a ghostwriter, ultimately, I think, you know, people should be getting credit where it's due, unless they, you know, they're okay with being hidden.
Yeah.
But I think Quentin Miller, like, he even denied, like, yeah, I'm not writing for Drake. I think he came out and said that. I'm not too sure, though.
But to me, there's a difference between somebody who writes their songs and somebody who doesn't. I think somebody who writes their songs is an artist, and then the person who, you know, somebody who doesn't write and sings them, well, they're a musician or they're a singer, right?
Yeah.
There's a place for both, right?
It's true. The next line, don't you know why the fuck you blank listen to Denim or Steve? Just Denim Tears, he's a fashion guy, works with Kanye West. Steve Victor, he's a manager and a friend of Pusha T. It's the line. Must have had your infrared wrong, now your head in the beam. Y'all are spitting image of whatever jealousy breeds. Ooh. I thought that was a good shot back.
Yeah.
Obviously, infrared, like we all know, must have had your infrared wrong. Must have had your sights wrong. Now your head in the beam. Now that's interesting because it's like almost like referencing ultralight beam.
Yeah.
Kanye West, you know, that's hitting Kanye. You know, all wrong. You have anything?
No.
You want me to just kind of?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm adding stuff, but yeah, I don't know as much about it as you do.
Don't push me when I'm in album mode. Yeah, Drake, he said something like that in Back to Back. I think it was they gonna ask if I could play the shit back to back. I took a break from views, now it's back to that blank. So yeah, obviously Drake was recording the album Scorpion at the time.
That really long one?
Very long one. We can get into that if we ever review it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Drake's saying, like, you know, you're trying to send shots, so, like, when I'm working, like, you better watch yourself.
Well, then the album becomes about him. That could be a threat, too.
Yeah. You're not even top 5 as far as your label talent goes. Now, you know, when I first heard this last year, when it came out, I'm like, oh!
Isn't he top 5? Is he top 5?
Yeah, when you look at the people in good music, like, you're like, yeah, Pusha T's top 5.
But then is it a brag on good music? Because then it's really only... Who else on good music is, like, really, really big?
So, the official signees, there's a list here. Kanye West, Big Sean, Pusha T, Psy the Prince, he's trash. Tiana Taylor, she was the last album, the Wyoming things. Casey Hill, Designer, 070 Shake, Shaq West, Mo Bamba.
Yeah.
And there's more. Pusha T's he's top 3.
Yeah, of all those.
But, I mean, at the time, like, that's still a good diss. But, like, when you really get into it, you're like...
Yeah, but let's say Pusha T bragged about being top 5. Is that really, for a popularity standpoint?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Really
he did say he was, like, top 5.
Like, who are you comparing
I even said we'll
right?
go back. But, yeah, I mean, maybe this was a misfire, but I think it hit a bit.
Yeah.
I liked it, though, still. You send shots. Well, I got to challenge those, but I'll bring the Calicos to that Alamo. So obviously you send shots. Drake's like, well, now I have to respond clearly with this track, but I bring the Calicos to the Alamo. Calico it's a gun, you know? Yeah. I can never have a Virgil in my circle and hold him back because he makes me nervous. I want to see my brothers flourish to their higher purpose you blank leeches and serpents. I think it's good that now the teachers are learning. Yeah. Virgil Abloh is a fashion designer. He was designing with Louis Vuitton. He's known for Off-White, that brand. He's also assisted and helped Kanye with album covers, the 808s and Heartbreaks, it says here. And he's also done stage design, so like production setup. I think that's cool. It also references Kanye's past interviews where says that Virgil becoming the director of Louis Vuitton made him feel nervous and made him jealous of his friend's success. So Kanye was kind of feuding. Yeah. It's like, I can never have a Virgil in my circle. Interesting. So Kanye, he also had to deal with Nike, but they had a falling out and signed with Adidas and stuff. Drake is talking about, he wants to see his brothers flourish to their higher purpose. He wouldn't diss his friends if they ever got big like Virgil did, and Kanye getting jealous.
Oh, so jealous, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because nobody gets big.
Yeah.
Well,
the Drake
there's exceptions.
To be fair, OVO.
It's put out some big people. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There's not a lot that are like.
You know what? I still love OVO, their clothing and stuff. But factually, where the hell have all those signed artists?
So let's
gone?
see. When somebody starts to eclipse him.
Yeah.
I like to think he wouldn't, though. I mean, it seems like
your brother said it was your cousin, then him, then you. So you don't rap what you did. You just rap what you knew. Don't be ashamed. It's plenty blanks that do what you do. There's no malice in your heart. You're an approachable dude. So he's talking about Pusha T here. Talking about an interview that No Malice said that how he and Pusha T in the trap game, the drug stuff. So Pusha T, he used to perform with his biological brother, Malice, in Clips. Yeah, we'll call it that. So obviously the theme of the music was selling cocaine and stuff. Drake's saying like, oh, you're saying all this crap, but like, did you really do it? I think he's like really trying to question it. There's no malice in your heart. You're an approachable dude. Oh, that was a good line.
Yeah.
Drake says next, man, you might have sold to college kids for Nike and Mercedes, but you act like you sold drugs for Escobar in the 80s. I remember I tweeted this line when it came out, and I was like, oh, Pusha T, man, you're done.
That's what you got to give it to Drake. You know where he comes from, too, right? Like, he's not, he doesn't come from, like, well, assuming Pusha T's upbringing is real, then he doesn't come from the same kind of hardship that he went through, but he's honest about it, he's not. Like the same degree.
Drake's trying to shut down all of Daytona by saying, because obviously every song's like talking about drugs and stuff. He's like, man, you guys didn't do any of that shit. Like, you didn't sell drugs. He's like, because Pusha T and Infrared, he's like, let's cram numbers easily. The only rapper sold more dope than me was Eazy-E.
Yeah.
It's like, and Drake's still like, bro, like, fuck that, man. And you're like full of bullshit.
And then it's a contradiction too, because he thinks Pusha T says there's a balance in the Comeback Baby. There's a balance between these commercial rappers who don't come from hardship and the ones that do. But then of course, when time comes, he's going to call out people for not coming from hardship and being commercial, right?
Yeah, like when he's like, but you act like you sold drugs for Escobar in the 80s. Obviously, Pablo Escobar. In the 80s, he controlled over 80% of global cocaine market. Yeah. Like, that's insane. It was $30 billion, the number here.
Richer than General Motors, I think, at one point.
Yeah. It's like, Drake's like, yeah, man, you think you're all, like, you did all this stuff that you didn't do. But that's cool. It's a good line still. I had a microphone of yours, but then the signature faded. I think that pretty much resembles what's been happening lately. It says here Drake once owned and signed a Clips era Pusha T microphone that he bought off eBay for $200. In a World Star video, Drake spoke of how he used it to pretend to do these interviews on the red carpet and perform clip songs with the microphone. Like a signature would naturally fade over time, Drake feels that Pusha's career has been declining too. I mean, that's what Drake thinks. I think
people probably agreed with that up till now.
This was
came out.
I think though Daytona was like, in a sense, you could say a revival.
Yeah, I think in a big way. I
think we can agree like Pusha T's last album, it wasn't that good,
and he had a lot more influence with clips.
Exactly,
back in the 2000s.
Please believe your demise will be televised. Yeah. So he's saying like, you will be seen around being exposed and stuff. And as for Q, man, I changed his life a couple times. Blank was a Kroger working double time. Y'all acting like he made the boy when I was trying to help the guy. On Genius Lyrics, it says, obviously that Quinn Miller, I think he was working a minimum wage job at a retail store or whatever. And he wanted to like break into music. And then I think Drake discovered him or something. I don't know. And he gave him an opportunity. It's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's great.
That's a nice thing to do.
Exactly.
That's being an approachable guy.
Yeah. Literally. Drake says, yeah, who gassed you to play with me? Man, you make this shit as easy as ABCs. The Drake's like just insulting Pusha T and his confidence. Whoever's supposedly making me hits, but then got no hits sounded like they need me. So Drake's saying there that Quinn Miller needed Drake more than anything.
Wow.
So I guess, is that a shot at Quinn Miller?
Yeah, maybe Pusha T needs this feud because it certainly got his name out a lot. Being associated with Drake doesn't matter if it's negative or positive. That's going to get you a lot of attention.
I mean, I don't know if this is really a shot, but Drake's just saying like he was out to help him. And Drake won, a few Grammys or whatever, right?
You can look at it that way.
Yeah. I mean, you know more about the music industry than I do.
I think, well, I guess you could look at it as helping him because, you can always find another co-writer.
That's true.
But, then we got to ask, is quality of song what makes a hit? Really? Like, is it just, do you have a catchy chorus, right? Because a million people can write catchy choruses.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's say, he even found a guy who was more talented, who says that he wasn't going to be a hit, right? It might, I don't think quality is necessarily what's going to give you a top 40 hit. I think a lot of it's about hooks and just how catchy your song is, right? So, you could argue Drake does help him out.
Yeah.
By getting him to write and giving him exposure, but
yeah.
Songs wouldn't be the same without Quinn, so.
Yeah, for sure. So he can be appreciated for Drake's success too.
Yeah, and then, supposedly your buddy, right? It's like, that's kind of an unfair.
My hooks did it. My lyrics did it. My spirit did it. I'm fearless with it. Yuck.
Yeah.
Drake thinks that, he doesn't really need anyone like that. His natural ability in songs, like, his working attitude helped him get to where he is, get the numbers. Whether that's true or not, nothing's 100% confirmed. Like, again, numbers don't lie. Drake, like, look at his numbers.
Well, yeah, you can't deny the amount of sales. He's way bigger.
Exactly. Like,
way bigger.
Sorry, Pusha. That
There's
I have to give that to Drake. Like,
in this past decade?
Exactly. I genuinely believe he is the most influential artist of the past decade.
Yeah. And he's prolific, say what you want. He's put out something every year, almost.
Yeah.
And he's either like, how much has Pusha T put out in the last, like, he's more prolific than Pusha T has even been.
Yeah.
In the past 10 years.
Kind of going back to back that Drake released to Meek. It's like, you're getting bodied by a singing blank. I thought that was funny. It's like, it's like Drake saying like, yeah, bruh, like, bro, you got like slapped by a man who doesn't even truly rap according to others. It's like, you got slapped by like an R&B singer or whatever. Whether you consider Drake a hip hop artist or R&B singer, subjective. It's up to you.
I just think he's following the current trend that you have these rappers who sing.
Nothing wrong with it.
I mean, you want to put Post Malone in that crowd. It's like Post Malone, I wouldn't consider a rapper. I'm just saying it's a similar kind of deal where you're taking this hip hop kind of thing.
Yeah. This next line I really enjoyed too. I really shouldn't have given you none of my time because you're older than the blank you running behind. So I had no idea that Pusha T was older than Kanye West.
He's 40.
At the time, yeah. Kanye, he just turned 41. I don't know when Pusha T
Isn't he born in like 72? Pusha T? Oh no, 77.
He's just a year older.
77.
Yeah.
He's 42. That's probably where I got 72.
It's interesting to think that Daytona, remember how we said at the beginning, Pusha T is like, oh, I have the luxury of time. Well, Drake's like, here's your shot clock now. It's like, you claimed you didn't need one. Here, like, you have a certain amount of time. Drake's saying, I shouldn't have even given you any time. But, look, holler at me when you multi-million. Because on Infrared, Pusha T, he kind of dissed Lil Wayne. Obviously, Weezy is close with Drake. Pusha T said, another multi-platinum rapper trapped and can't retire. Drake's discography has 6 platinum albums and 1 gold mixtape as of May 25th, 2018. At the time, nothing was the same as 4 times platinum. Views was 6 times platinum.
6 million, 4 million copies sold.
What a Time to Be Alive, the album with Future. It went platinum.
In the 2010s, too, it's really hard to sell that much in the 2010s.
Exactly. Take Care was 4 times platinum. If you're reading This Is Too Late, double platinum. Thank Me Later went platinum, and So Far Gone went gold. Like, I don't know if Pusha T, like, I guess multi-million, like, yeah, because that's what the sales mean for platinum and shit, right? I told you keep playing with my name, and I'm gonna let it ring on you like Virginia Williams. I believe this is where everything went to shit for Drake. Basically, yeah, Drake almost lost just by saying that line. He brought up Pusha T's fiance at the time. We'll get into why it's very wrong and hurts his career there. I'm too resilient. Get out your feelings. It's going to be a cruel summer for you. So, Cruel Summer. It's supposed to be an album by Kanye West featuring members of Good Music. I don't think that didn't come out.
No.
Basically, Drake is saying like he's destroying his own summer. 'Cause May, start of summer. I told Weezy and Baby I'm a Dunham for you. Drake is saying, he's gonna get back Push, obviously for talking about Lil Wayne and Birdman feud back in 2006. All because of Babe clothing. Think about that. This entire beef started by friggin' clothing.
Well, they're trying to sell the clothing, so make the beef about the clothing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I maybe.
Yeah.
But it's kind of silly. That depends how seriously you take it too. But
basically.
But they've been throwing shots back and forth at each other for years. Well, I know this stuff that's been talking about now stems back from years and years. I mean, you can go really in depth if you want, even further than we're going. So.
Yeah. And then finally, tell Ye we got an invoice coming to you, considering that we just sold another 20 for you. Later that day, Drake posted on Instagram an invoice of $100,000 to Good Music. Drake claims that, all the extra attention for Pusha T's Daytona, he's going to generate way more success because Drake responded. So that's why he sent him, like, it will result in another 20,000 units sold.
How much higher did this chart than the other albums? That's like a good.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The last album, before Daytona, the album before went to 20, and then this one went to number 3.
Yeah.
So maybe he's right. I don't know. That helps sales probably.
Yeah.
We're being honest.
In the little mini outro here, Drake says, "To be honest, duppy." So duppy is another term for evil spirit or demon and stuff. It's a Jamaican folklore thing. It says here. Drake feels like Pusha's ghost of the past and isn't relevant in 2018. That's pretty funny.
I'd say Drake made him. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I'm sure they made each other more relevant because of this feud. I don't have a side, but I'm just definitely relevant now.
I think it's funny, talking about ghostwriters. And Drake's like, nah, you're a ghost, man.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, your career's done. And yeah, May 25th, Pusha T was silent. I mean, he tweeted out like the whole invoice thing to Drake. Whatever, Drake won. But wait.
Yeah, and then
on May 29th, 2018, we all visited Drake's grave. Now, we got a surprise song called The Story of Added On by Pusha T. And looking at the album cover, you're like, what the hell? That was my first reaction before I even listened to the song. Because you see blackface, and obviously, very, very offensive.
Yeah.
And it's Drake in the photo. And you're like, that has to be Photoshop, man. There's no way. But later we find out, that actually is Drake.
What's the context? Because he's wearing a Jim Crow shirt in that too, like a Jim Crow.
Yeah, I think it was like some commercial thing Drake was doing. I remember he explained it on his Instagram, like the day the diss track came out or something. That's all he really responded to.
He needs that context.
Because it looks really bad, yeah. But I think it was like, that photo was like in 2006, 2007, I think.
And you got to fight that outrage too. That's especially nowadays is going to come out when people see something like that. Like
what the hell's up with like them getting all this like interesting photos? You have the Whitney Houston washroom, and
it creates controversy. So
friggin' blackface, man. Like, that's insane.
He's taking a page out of Kanye's playbook.
Yeah.
The people love it when they get riled up and there's controversy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, again, my reaction was like, whoa, this is not going to be good. Now, I thought with Duppy Freestyle, Drake did a really good job at responding back. Again, even after the story of Added On came out, I still think Duppy holds up for what it was. Still a great diss track. And people, they undermine it because of what the story of Added On talks about. So when I first played the song last year, I hear it, I'm like, sounds familiar. And it's actually sampling Jay-Z's The Story of OJ song from his 440 album, 444.
He quotes Jay-Z on Daytona too, I think, as well.
Yeah. So we go back to Drake, when he talked about it's going to be a cruel summer for you. Well, Pusha T said, easy money. It's about to be a surgical summer. And you're like, okay. Chop the tops off the coupes, the 488. I don't...
Maybe not numbers. It sounds like.
Yeah, the spider joint. And we're going to cut the heads off these snakes, right? Watch the body drop. So obviously he's talking about like a song. Apparently the numbers translates to 488. So that's Ferrari 488 Spider.
Yeah.
Car. Really, really nice one.
Is there a reason they're in Spanish?
I don't know.
Is there any reasoning behind like what?
Yeah, like it sounds better though.
Like, I guess.
I think,
well,
like,
then it might help the rhyme scheme, I guess, and the flow.
Yeah, I think it sounds way better. So Pusha T, he starts off by saying, drug dealing aside, ghostwriting aside, let's have a heart-to-heart about your pride. So obviously this beef, like Drake was talking about, like to hell with your drug dealing bull crap and all like Pusha T's own accusations of ghostwriting. He's like, let's like sweep it to the side.
Like the trivial bullshit side.
Yeah,
Get
it's
personal.
like,
really personal.
and what Drake and Pusha T have their beef going back to 2010, 2011, I think.
Yeah, there's been stuff thrown back for a while. Or too earlier.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. So
this is kind of the boiling point. These last two songs.
Yeah.
It's kind of like building up over time, and then it kind of just exploded.
Like this is like the high rise, like going to the climax and stuff.
Yeah. Well, it gets, like I said, really personal.
The next line is, even though you're multi, I see your soul don't look alive. The M's count different when baby divides the pie. Wait, let's examine why. Your music for the past few years been angry and full of lies. I'll start it at the home front. I'm on one. So even though you're multi, so obviously multi-platinum, how Drake talked about in Duppy, I see your soul don't look alive. It's interesting because Drake earlier in the year was on Look Alive with Block Boy JB. That was a good song. I liked it. The M's count different when baby divides the pie. Wait. So you hear it, you're like, baby. Oh, Birdman. And it's like the M's, so the millies, the millions, count different when baby divides the pie. I also hear baby. So it's like talking about like a, just say within a family. How when you have a kid, like obviously it's going to cost a lot of money. They say like within one child's lifetime, a parent almost spends like $1 million. I think that's cool. After Drake saying, Dennis Graham, stay off the gram, bitch, I'm on one. You mentioned wedding ring like it's a bad thing. Your father walked away at 5, hell of a dad thing. Marriage is something that Sandy never had, Drake. How you a winner, but she keeps coming in last place. So Pusha T is getting personal here.
Very.
He's talking about Drake's parents. Dennis Graham, obviously Drake's dad, he did.
Well, he went back to
Memphis. Yeah. Stay off the gram. Is that an Instagram thing? That I don't really get, but
somebody tell us.
It says here, actually.
Oh, okay.
So the same day that Drake dropped W Freestyle, his response to Pusha T's Infrared, Drake's dad, Dennis, took to Instagram to remind Pusha and any other challengers that his son was not meant to be messed with. Oh, okay. You know what? I remember seeing that now on Twitter. So obviously Drake talked about Virginia Williams, Pusha T's fiance. And that's why Pusha T is getting personal.
Yeah, I decided to take the personal angle.
Yeah, very, very personal. So you mentioned wedding ring like it's a bad thing. Your father walked away at 5, hell of a dad thing. You mentioned wedding ring, saying like, oh, being married is bad. Obviously, Drake's parents, I don't think they were married.
No.
Yeah. Your father walked away at 5, hell of a dad thing. Now, Diego and I, we're not black, okay? Obviously, there's a stereotype of fathers in the black community walking away. That's a stereotype. Obviously, I think that's very, you can't just say one thing and obviously put an entire community all in one.
People are individual.
That's not,
But this is,
very...
This goes without saying.
Again, we're not trying to get political or whatever. Marriage is something that Sandy never had, Drake. How you a winner, but she keeps coming in last place. Basically, Drake used to talk about his mom's loneliness and stuff in the song. He's talking, and Pusha's like, bro, your mom wasn't even married. Like, how are you saying you winning, but it's your own mom that's, losing? And obviously, rappers like to talk about their moms and how much influence they've had. So very interesting there. Next lines. Monkey suit Dennis, you parade him. A Steve Harvey suit blank made him. So Pusha's saying that Drake's father, he dresses up in monkey suits, I guess. It says here on Genius Lyrics, monkey suit refers to the racist Caricature of black people as apes. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yikes. Okay. Um, I mean, I can't really explain that. I'm gonna let you guys
I mean,
kind of.
I guess
you
I'm-
guys kind of.
I guess I'm naive. I was just thinking suits,
Yeah, like no, like I seriously thought like a monkey suit, like.
but I'm white, so
Yeah,
I
mean, I don't have much to say for that. Confused, always felt you weren't black enough. Afraid to grow it out because your fro wouldn't nap enough. That was kind of a funny line. Obviously, Drake, he keeps his hair short with a fade. Never seen him with a fro before.
So he's criticizing him for not
being able to grow. I guess because Drake's also like a light skin because he's mixed.
He's half Jewish, right?
Yeah.
He could grow a fro.
Exactly. That's the thing.
He could. That's not a joke.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
like
not all Jewish people have fros. I'm sorry, but there's Jew
but
fros.
seriously, they do have Seth Rogen, man. Come on,
Yeah.
his hair is curly. Like
Yeah.
we're not saying all Jews have curly hair, but it's a joke.
It's better than straight hair.
Yeah, yeah, I don't like my straight hair, but basically, obviously, because you weren't black enough, Drake's light skin.
He's a nice Jewish boy from the Toronto suburbs. That's what he's,
Yeah.
That's how some people just look at him. I'm assuming Pusha T does.
In Drake's album, Nothing Was the Same, one of the covers was Drake as a kid with a fro and a pick in his hair. I don't know if that really relates, but
Well, because he's saying you can't grow it, and then you're gonna put a picture
Sure.
claiming it's you
yeah.
throwing a pic.
All right, this next part, we really get the huge bomb here. When I heard it, now I didn't believe it at first. Like, I'm like, bro, this man's pulling like shit out of his ass. Like, there's no possible way this is all true. But eventually, we learned more. It was all confirmed. But Pusha T raps, "Since you name dropped my fiance, let them know who you chose as your Beyonce. Sophie knows better as your baby mother. Cleaned her up for IG, but the stench is on her. A baby's involved. It's deeper than rap. We talking character. Let me keep with the facts. You are hiding a child. Let that boy come home. Deadbeat motherfucker playing border control." Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Too far? We're gonna go too. That's a kid. That's a person's life, man. Yeah, I mean, this kid's existence was revealed in in between a rap feud. I'm sure it'll turn out fine. I'm sure it's gonna fine.
See,
This kid's gonna be okay. What a great upbringing already.
basically, okay. So Pusha, he kind of says, well, if you're gonna name drop my fiance, I'll bring up, your kind of Beyonce, your wifey. Everyone says Beyonce's a wife. Sophie knows better as your baby mother. So I'm like, oh, does Sophie know better? That's her Instagram name. To this day, Sophie knows better. Cleaned her up for IG, but the stench is on her. So obviously, yeah, it's the Instagram line. You search her up, like, that's, yeah. Stench is on her, because Sophie Brasix, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. She's French. She's a former porn star. Back in 2017, some reports came out saying Drake impregnated her, Sophie Brasix. Some say some messages were saying Drake said, "I want you to have an abortion," all that stuff. You guys can search it up. But yeah, apparently, like, it kind of comes back. I kind of forgot that was news back in 2017, but Pusha T's kind of confirming it. Like, a baby's involved. It's deeper than rap. We talking character. Let me keep with the facts. Obviously, earlier in the song, Pusha T talked about the M's count different when baby divides the pie. So he's really confirming the whole baby thing here, that Drake has a secret child that no one knows about. Deadbeat motherfucker playing border control. let the boy come home. Basically, because Sophie, she lives in France, and she's saying, well, she gave birth to a baby boy. And basically, Border Patrol, Drake, he's from Canada, lives in the States, child in France, Border Patrol, blah, blah. You guys know. Adonis is your son, and he deserves more than an Adidas press run that's real. Love that baby, respect that girl. Forget she's a porn star, let her be your world. Yuck. Yikes.
He's kind of insulting her and then, vouching for her at the same time. Says the stench is off her, man. And then he's like, oh, you got to take care of her.
Basically,
see her as a mother. But I mean, but then that line obviously proves Pusha that you see her as nothing more than a porn star. When you said the stench. But
in Greek mythology, Adonis was conceived through incestuous love between Hera and her father, King Cinyras. I don't know how to pronounce these. Basically, the king couldn't accept the child and turned the girl into a tree.
And this is the kid's actual name.
Adonis. So it's... Damn, you couldn't be more lucky, Pusha T, in the subject you had and the leverage of sort of wordplay you had. So Adonis is the supposed name of Drake's son. In June 2018, apparently Drake was supposed to be signing with Adidas for a lineup called Adidon. And I think he's going to reveal his son kind of in some Adidas clothes or whatever. So he's supposed to be with Kanye West. Adidon is the title. So the story of the clothing line he's supposed to release. Pusha T said, but we couldn't know about your child until you started selling sweatsuits and sneakers. Clearly pressing Drake to be better than his father, who he addressed earlier in the diss for leaving Drake at the age of 5. Push also said, I don't even hang with my friends who have child support issues. I'm big on kids for real. Okay. Yeah, these past few lines have been really good that Pusha T raps. It's like, damn, man, you really dropped the bomb.
It was the first time anybody really ever got Drake.
Exactly. Like, Drake isn't... I mean, again, at the time, this is all supposed, and you're like, nah, I don't believe in this crap. Even me, it was too good to be true. Pusha T says, how dare you put Ye in my verses? I'm selfish, I want all the curses. So obviously in Duppy Freestyle, Drake talks about Kanye West, bringing him up a lot. Pusha T saying, I'm selfish, I want all the curses. He wants all the smoke. He wants all the insults. I say, I want all the smoke. It's kind of cringy, though.
Yeah, that's...
You really think about it, it's like, yeah, I want all the attention. Okay, you attention whore.
Well, he needs it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, clearly, because...
He needs to get those, if you're reading this, is too late sales and stuff like that. He needs to get that kind of money.
Obviously, Duppy, he calls him a Duppy. It's a ghost, so Pusha T's trying to revive. I'm pre-booking the churches, me versus 3 hearses. If we all go to hell, it'll be worth it. So obviously, Pusha is talking about Cash Money Trio, Drake, Birdman, and Lil Wayne. Already aligned with the greats on the same note. The same ones I chase are 2 ghosts. Yeah, basically saying how Pusha T has been in the rap game longer than Drake and stuff, I think. Still giving you classics, that's the only thing that dates me. Basically now Pusha T is talking about the lines about the microphone fade that he bought. Yeah, and you're like, whatever, okay, throwaway lines.
I mean, he influenced Drake, that's all he can be.
Yeah,
that's all you can say.
It's like, okay. I don't know what was more savage, like talking about baby Adonis or
That's coming up now.
yeah, the next line. So, Pusha T has some throwaway lines, and then we hear OVO 40 hunched over like he 80. Tick, tick, tick. How much time he got? That man is sick, sick, sick. I got the devil flow blank. 666. Surgical summer with it. Snip, snip, snip. And if you don't really want it with him, oh my god.
That was revealed too.
Was that too far?
It's under, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of.
I don't think what Drake said was
Drake
that
got
bad
that
to
personal.
warrant revealing a child and making fun of someone who has MS.
You're attacking people who aren't involved.
Exactly. It's
And
like,
what are we feuding about? Who's the better artist, or who's?
It's like.
So then, what's the point of getting personal if we're going to argue about who's the better artist?
It's like, bro, you said, okay, let's put this like shit all aside, the ghostwriting and the drugs and stuff, and he goes for like a personal attack. And I think, while the story of Adidon's a really good kind of response back, like I think it's too far. And I've seen like videos and analysis videos on what is too far in hip hop. Is there even a borderline to cross? All that, but I think within Pusha T being like morally, like, bro, like leave Drake's personal business with his own kid alone. Pusha T, I don't think he's a dad, but like Drake, he didn't mention anything like that.
This is the only kind of genre this would happen to.
Yeah,
because everyone's successful people in the same genre, and you're going to do that.
Because everyone has to have like a step over another. It sounds great when you hear it, but when he talks about 40 having MS, like, come on, man, like, because that's a serious like disease.
Yeah, but he used his tag to describe it. So
yeah, okay, that was good though. Hunched over like he 80, so OVO 40. Doubling in age 80.
Yeah.
You're kind of older. Tick, tick, tick. How much time he got. So obviously, like, that's a clock.
Yeah.
That man is sick, sick, sick. I got the devil flow blank 666. So obviously, there's the tag where in Drake's songs when 40 his thing is like 666, because like 6, like the 416. 647 Toronto, basically. Yeah. I thought that was really good though. Like disregarding how kind of ruthless it was. Like that was. I really like that. That was really clever for sure. Yeah. Again, like I think that this was a little harsh. I don't think what Drake said in Duppy Freestyle warranted anything to do with bringing up a child or dissing someone with MS. I think...
Well, dissing someone with MS without having MS. What he's doing is to give him... He's mentioning his MS. That's basically the whole diss.
I know 40, he tweeted, it's funny because World MS Day was the next day, May 29th.
Yeah,
And he just posted a link to the website.
You're kind of not self-aware, I mean.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid on Pusha T's end. Yeah, again, I think, here's the thing. I've had a lot of debates with people, or like you talked about it, whether it was warranted. And I will say to this day, nothing warranted just talking about child issues. That's personal family stuff. Who cares if he brought up your friggin' fiance? Like, then bring up, like, sure, if you want to say Drake hooked up with a porn star, fine. Wow.
Yeah.
But, like, bro, like, their kids, like, that's the only, like, kind of thing I don't like about Pusha T. It's like, oh, savagery, sure. But, like, bro, come on. Like...
It captivates people. That's real life soap opera, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea, right?
Again, but, like...
This is going to be remembered because of that.
I want all the smoke.
I'm not arguing for like they'll get all the smoke after this. Like
again, that's just crazy. That's just my opinion too. Whatever, y'all can just be like, Rylan, you're a dumbass, you sensitive bitch.
But if you look at all like their most remembered feuds, it all got really personal.
It did get personal. That's the thing.
A lot of the ones that there's a lot of feuds.
Like Hit 'Em Up, like yeah. Even in Kill Shot by Eminem, the MGK.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, when Diddy admits that he got Pac killed.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like what the hell? See, I don't think that one's as bad as like an MS thing or whatever. Basically, the outro, he's just saying Surgical Summer. Basically, Daytona, album of the motherfucking year. And you talk about being upset. Haha, well, I want to see you when you're angry, okay? You show me that. Push. So basically, after Duppy Freestyle dropped, Drake actually dropped another song called I'm Upset. I don't like that song, man. That's the thing, yeah. You're upset. That was really good.
Why don't you just release another Kajillion Seller and then there you go. Don't say anything. Count your money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't there supposed to be another one? Rumor.
Yeah, they say Drake was supposed to have a diss. I hear it was called Tic Tac Toe or whatever.
That could be a PR move though, because it makes him look like the bigger person if he has a supposedly really personal track and then he doesn't release it because that would be very.
Drake was on the barbershop thing with LeBron James. I think 2 Chainz was there too. I don't know.
So
I saw it a long time ago.
Maybe inadvertently that makes him look better.
But yeah, apparently like people were saying like Drake shouldn't respond. They're saying it really would have ended Pusha T's career because I think Drake would have went super personal as well.
Well, you'd have to.
Yeah, that's like the only thing. So you probably would have talked about Pusha T's friends who got like locked up.
Would have talked about
drugs and stuff.
Can I talk about Davon?
Yeah, I think that would be kind of. I wouldn't justify.
It would be wrong, but I almost want to hear that, and then he could reference Santeria.
Yeah, I'd feel kind of bad for Pusha T in that sense.
That wouldn't be cool. But I mean, I'm just saying.
But like, if you really wanted to one up, and like, yeah. Anyways, I mean, that was the beef. Really,
are these feuds real?
Yeah, I think so. Well, they've been beefing for a while. Actually, another point I want to bring up. I did mention how we say Savage, a baby, and MS's, but to be fair, Drake did diss Kid Cudi when he came out with Depression.
Oh yeah,
So
then this is all just silly.
Yeah, this is all stupid. But whatever Drake said, I forgot what he said, but I think it was on Two Birds with One Stone. I think that's what the song is called.
Yeah, and then you're going to release a song called I'm Upset, and you make fun of a guy for having depression.
Yeah, I think...
I don't know. I just think a lot of
it should have been Kid Cudi to respond then. He's a grown-ass man. He can talk for himself.
Yeah, but then, he's the bigger person.
Yeah.
I mean,
so that's the only thing I can like really side with in justifying.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't know. I think
that's one shot. Pusha T got 2.
Yeah. I don't know. I just wonder how much of the feuds is they help each other out publicity. I wonder how much of it is put on and how much of it is actually real.
Exactly.
Because I think I think WWE has had a ton of influence on pop culture more than people realize. I think nowadays there's really an effort to make that kind of feuding and that kind of drama, and I think it really helps people's publicity. It certainly benefits everyone involved, gets people talking. Maybe there's some that are real. This one could be one in particular that's real, but I think a lot of them are over-exaggerated or even made up in the first place.
Yeah.
To get publicity. You even see it it's not just done in hip-hop, and it's done everywhere. I mean, you look at UFC nowadays, they really play up a lot of that feuding and a lot of that trash talking because it, puts asses in the seats, and this one puts up sales. So.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Overall thoughts on the beef. It was really nice to hear because I haven't heard much in hip hop. Well, like you do, but this was a very prominent one. Drake being almost the face of hip hop, whether you like it or not, due to numbers.
Yeah.
Like
face of popular music. I think he transcends the genres and just because of how he is. I think people just associate him. And I don't think when you hear the name Drake, I don't think people the first thing they think is he's in hip hop. I just think it's just Drake. Whereas like if you hear someone like Pusha T, you're gonna think, oh, that guy's a rapper. I think he transcends kind of that category he's put in just because he's so big. He becomes something else.
I'm not saying that Drake is Michael Jackson, but I'm saying the numbers, man.
Closest thing we got to is as far as sales.
Yeah, like it's a fact. I don't really have anything else really to say. You have any?
I mean, I just think I don't know. I think these feuds. I mean, they're good and they build up. They entertain the people and they're entertaining, but I think a lot of it is just it's kind of ridiculous. Sometimes,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So whatever though.
Like it's the only music genre where you have two people that are successful at what they do. They're in the same genre, so they're kind of on the same team, and they're going to feud like that. Like, why can't just two people just be big and
exactly
just compete? The competition should be in the songs and the sales, but it makes it more entertaining, and we all like
to get personal.
Like even when I was a kid, I preferred WWE over. This is just me, but I prefer WWE over any other sport because it has that entertainment value. I respect that entertainment value, and if that's what they have to do, then maybe it gets a little too personal. But
yeah, overall, Daytona, great album.
Yeah, great album.
This beef, very entertaining. More entertaining than Meek and Drake, I think, back in the day. Drake actually took an L, but that doesn't mean Duppy was bad. I think if I had to rate them by like diss tracks, I'd give Duppy like maybe a 9. And then like obviously Story of Adidon, it is very savage too. I think that's a 9.5.
It's probably the better one.
It's the better one for sure. How much leverage would it have though if there was no savage? We'll never know.
To get people to focus. If if Pusha T wants more publicity, he needs Drake to do it. Yeah. Drake is going to put more focus on Pusha T, so that's definitely a point.
Exactly. So yeah, I guess this is the end.
Yeah. This very epically long podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening.
And you'll hear us next time.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed this. I think Diego and I really enjoyed reviewing, listening to Daytona and the diss tracks. Couldn't recommend it more.
Yeah, do check it out. I'm sure most of you have. Very big. But re-listen to it.
For sure.
It's good. Listen to it again.
Always.
Listen to it like 10 times.
Long like too. Yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys, and stay tuned. We will be releasing another podcast very soon. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks.